taking my earrings out.
Don't do it.
Why?
I don't know. If you take earrings out, don't ears get all crusty? That probably has nothing to do with taking them out. For some reason, I just envision...
Ow. Well, since I had to re-pierce them with like a needle.
That you didn't even sterilize.
Nah. Well, what's going to happen?
They get infected, and then you get gangrene, and you get your ears cut off.
Gangrene?
Gonna cut those suckers off. And it'll be earless. And everyone's gonna stare at you. You think you can cover it with your hair like this, like you have now?
Yeah. I can't. What are you drinking?
Robot beer?
Is that beer that you showed me when you were 4th of July?
Yeah, that wasn't 4th of July. That was after we did our summer episode, and I talked about that barbecue I didn't want to go to.
Oh, okay.
Not because I didn't want to go see my friends. I just didn't want to make the trek. And this was the beer.
Fun. What kind of beer is it? IPA? Fucking everything's a goddamn IPA.
Yes, it is.
Everything is an IPA.
People love them. When I was at the bar the other night with Casey, everyone who came in talked to the bartender. What IPAs you have?
So lame.
What IPAs you have?
What IPAs do you have?
What IPAs you have?
If I go to a bar and I say, what wheat beers do you have? And they say, Blue Moon, I think.
Because they're judging you.
I want a Weihenstephaner. I want a Blue Moon. I want...
Hoegaarden.
Hoegaarden. Thank you. I was thinking, what is that one with like the white label? Hoegaarden. I want...
You want all the beers that'll get your ass kicked if you're a man.
Oh, yeah, because dudes don't drink Wittenbeers.
These arbitrary rules.
Yeah.
We've broken down beer into the different types. There's the types that get you praise and the types that get your ass kicked.
Yeah, it's the white wine of beers. But listen, I totally would judge a man for ordering a vodka soda splash of creme.
Oh, yeah, you would.
Totally would. That's a pussy drink to order.
Wow. I think my dad...
It's delicious.
I think my dad drinks vodka and cranberry.
But now vodka cranberry is different than a vodka soda splash of cranberry with the lime wedge.
Yeah, I don't think he goes that far. And he doesn't go to the bar. I've never seen my dad in a bar.
No?
Like a straight up bar to get a drink? Restaurants with bars, sure.
You know, I don't know if I've ever seen my dad in a bar. I got drunk with my mom in a bar once. And I was like 22 years old. And I was like, Mom, what's it like to have a 22-year-old daughter? Is it crazy? It's crazy. And then I was like, everybody, this is my mom.
Yeah, you would do that.
I would have my mom come into high school with me. And I'd walk around like, hey, look, this is my mom. You know, I was never embarrassed.
I can see that. You would.
Yeah.
It was a total autumn thing.
But my dad, I would get embarrassed by hearing the same jokes that he would tell over and over again. But even though it was a new audience every time, still I was like, oh, he always tells the same joke.
Do you remember what this joke was?
Yeah. He'd gotten these headshots made and he always liked to show them off. So he would show people and they'd be looking at it like, oh, it's nice. You know, nice Bob. You know, and he'd say, yeah, do not accept rides or candy from this man. They would laugh, and I would just go like this. Oh, that hurt my throat a lot.
No, you got the raspiness going. People like that.
Nina Westwood or whatever on the 80s channel. What's her name?
She's the skeleton. She's on. If everything on a skeleton had disintegrated except for the vocal cords. That's
all that's left.
That's what it would sound like.
Okay, I'm better.
I smoke 12 packs of cigarettes a day. Nina Blackwood.
It's just going to get so messed up. It's just going to be...
I'm Nina Blackwood. You remember me from MTV. It's time for Duran Duran, Hungry Like the Wolf.
She never loses her job.
Never.
I remember being backstage with Bon Jovi in 1987.
She outlasted emphysema. It died before she did.
Living on a prayer.
Her body's dead.
Her body's dead.
Just a corpse.
Emphysema's dead.
And Nina Blackwood's what's left of Nina Blackwood.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ.
Hi, Greg Russ.
That's going to be my energy all recording. My name is Greg Russ. Hello, Autumn. Even that's too much. Because
Yeah,
that's,
that sounds sing-songy.
yeah, and that's also me putting on... I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
I ate some pizza before we recorded, and I think it's affecting me negatively.
Okay.
This is why...
You feel sluggish?
Yes. And I also ate lunch today, and I think I've eaten too much for the day.
How crazy of you to have 2 meals in a day.
Tell me about it. Usually I have 1 meal a day, and I skip the other meals because the other meals do make me sluggish, but the lunch didn't make me sluggish. But the dinner has now made me sluggish. I'll snap out of it. I've got this beer in my hand. That's the perfect pick-me-up.
Is it a higher gravity beer? Is that what's causing your low energy?
Well, it's the only one I'm having, so I'm not... I'm a fourth of a way through a 16-ounce can. I didn't buy any more. I just bought one. It's called the responsible drinking.
Okay.
What the hell does high gravity mean?
It means it's a high alcohol content.
Oh, that's what that means?
Yeah.
I've heard it before. I always pictured the brewing process with these big vats of beer.
It's like in the Alps.
Yeah, but like when they drain the vats into the various mechanisms of delivery, cans, bottles, somehow it comes out faster because they've affected the gravity, so it's like twice the gravity and it just pours out faster.
Oh, that's not it.
I know. Look, I know that makes me sound very dumb.
That's not it, Greg.
There are beer connoisseurs out there who are saying you're an idiot. But why don't you just say high alcohol? High gravity.
I don't know. I don't know why it's called gravity. Maybe because it's like, to me, it seems like it's heavier. You know, so it means it's got a bigger punch to it. It's going to kick you harder than like a light beer. Hello, that makes sense. Okay, a light beer is going to have most likely a lower alcohol content and less calories. And a high gravity beer isn't saying anything about calories, but is also more alcohol content.
Are you sure? Someone right now is screaming at their...
Yeah.
Or they're screaming to themselves.
They're hitting their steering wheel.
You know, or they're listening with earbuds and they're just yelling, walking down the sidewalk.
It's not because of that. It's because of this.
Yeah.
Why don't they know?
Yeah. This is something that you get angry over. I'm not saying that you can't be interested in it. It's something you can surely, if you have interests, go for them, pursue them, learn things, get into things. But if those interests then turn into things that make you think you're better than someone else, I want nothing to do with you.
Why are you attacking people right now?
That kind of person would never be my friend.
I blame the pizza. This is the pizza talking.
That kind of person.
This is your second meal talking. Why are you barking at people?
That kind of person would never be my friend, Autumn.
Okay, no one's attacking you.
I was setting you up. Jeez. What's the topic?
I didn't know that's what you're doing.
That kind of person would not be my friend.
The topic today is friends.
That chemistry is gone. Remember when people used to talk about this show? And they say, you know what makes that show so great? That show's wonderful because Autumn and Greg have wonderful chemistry, and I really like listening to them, and I enjoy the interactions they have between one another. And wow, it would be great to have a friend like that.
Yeah.
And now it's like the band is falling apart.
Well, it's good then because we can talk about making friends, friendship.
Well, no, we're not talking about making friends. See. Boy. Wow. I think we need to put the show to bed. Because
this is it?
We already did a show. We already did a show about making friends.
Yeah.
So that would be a repeat show. So this show's not about making friends.
Making friends as an adult is different than friendship.
I know, but you just said making friends.
I know because I got all scared.
Are you really scared?
Yes.
Why?
I got intimidated.
By what? By that?
Because I didn't know where I stood.
By what I just did?
Yeah, because I couldn't tell because I was wrong about I wasn't following you in the beginning, and then I thought you were for real talking to me, like in jokingly but kind of for real, and then I couldn't tell what was real and what wasn't, and then I got all kinds of lost in what we were doing.
Yeah, even that proves my point. Even joking around like that in the past, you'd be like, ah, ha, ha. And now it's
because you said that you were in this weird place, and so then I went off on that. I was looking at that path, instead of the path you were trying to lead me on, which was trying to introduce the topic.
This is me. I'm confusing and mysterious. You got to deal with it.
That's what I like.
Is it?
Secret. Yeah.
That's what you're drawn to.
Yeah. I like the never know what he's thinking, aloof. I ask if he's okay. He's fine. I'm fine. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, what's going on? Nothing.
You sure? Because you seem mad.
Everything's fine.
All right.
It's all
Well,
it's fine. And then I get angry later
Yeah.
that you don't know what's going on.
But I asked you.
I start flopping around. Like say we're sitting next to one another, and I just start squirming and making sighing noise.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Like-
that hard breath out. Yeah.
and then toss the remote. And
Are
then
you okay?
And then these clothes are just tight, and rip them off.
You rip off your clothes? This is a part of the scenario I did not expect.
Well, they're not being. I mean, they're just being taken off with force.
Okay.
They're not being torn.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, you're taking off your clothes? Like, I'm so mad. I'm tearing off my clothes.
But but then I would still stick by the. What's wrong? Nothing.
Yeah.
Why don't you know?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get
All
to
right.
the topic.
Okay.
So
Friendships.
Friendships.
Yes. Friendship. Friendships. Plural or singular. Friendship.
How many friends do you have?
I mean, what's a friend? Okay. I have 2 very close friends. After that, it's to a lesser degree of friendship.
I mean, okay, there's a theory out there that says that people can have 5 intimate friends, and then it factors by 3 each time. Then you can have 15 good friends, 50 close friends, 150 friends. But what does that mean?
Wait, so it's what are the tiers?
5 intimate friends,
Intimate.
15 good friends, 50 close friends, 150
Oh.
friends.
I would think that close would be better than good.
You know, well, okay, fine. We can argue semantics that was
Okay.
thrown out there. I see what you're saying. I thought the same thing when I saw this.
Uh-huh.
So let's just say 15 close friends and 50 good friends, if
Okay.
that makes you feel better. But you understand what's being said.
Yes, I do.
And it's saying it can go up to 500 acquaintances.
Okay, that probably makes sense.
And maybe 1,500 people you could put a name to a face. That's wrong. I don't ever remember names.
Oh, that's true. But I mean, okay, if you can't literally put the name to the face, you could say like, I know this person.
Yes.
You recognize their face.
I agree.
Okay. I think that makes a lot of sense. 5 intimate friends. I mean, if you include opposite sex, then yes, I would say I have more than just the 2, like girlfriends. But I mean, those are the people that with your significant other, you can say that they're your best friend all you want, but who are you going to go to complain about your significant other? Not your significant other. You got to go to your friend. You got to go to a friend who's going to, maybe not sugarcoat something for you, or, can keep you honest, or just listen to you, stuff like that. I feel like that's what a intimate friend is.
I wouldn't count a significant other as a friend, even if you are friends. It's just a totally
Okay.
different relationship.
Yeah, it's muddied.
Well, because it requires a lot more work.
Yeah.
Friendships do require work, but not nearly as much. Again, if you want to count a significant other, if you're listening, fine. I'm not saying that those people aren't your friend,
Right.
that you can't have elements of a friendship. Hopefully you do, assuming that's a positive thing. You don't want
Sure.
to be just 2 people who have nothing in common, but for some reason you decided to get together.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. We have 0 interests. We don't have nothing to talk about, but I was really attracted to them, so I got
Yeah.
married.
We have a pretty good relationship, but I really don't like hanging out with them.
Yeah, wonderful. Great. You did a good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
And I think people do that. That's based.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's those people sometimes have like a mommy wife or a daddy husband. Where they really just look for someone to take care of them, or to sort of be in trouble with. I think that people are really into that sort of dynamic.
Why?
Because it feels safe. They were always in trouble with their mommy. And so, they having someone who will be a true partner with them might be too intimate. So they need someone that they can keep their distance from and treat them like their mom.
Is that what
I feel like if it's more, I think it typically you see it more. Well, I was going to say you see it more with husbands and wives where the wife is the mommy. But I mean, there's that whole scenario of like young girl, old man. But I don't really mean about an age difference, I guess.
Okay, well, that's not the topic. We'll get off
Okay,
of it.
sorry. Yeah.
It's an interesting thing to explore. Different dynamics and romantic relationships.
Yeah, let's do that as one. Romantic or relationship dynamics. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, we just talk about all the fucked up dynamics that are out there that exist.
Sure.
And everyone just says, all right, but I'm supposed to get married, so I'm going to do it. Okay, great.
I'm a certain age. I make a certain amount of money. It's time to do it. Okay. I think we've talked about making friends as an adult and how difficult that can be, because really as an adult, you have so many acquaintances, which is that 500 number, 500 acquaintances, that it's probably pretty difficult to get them through all those levels of close friend, good friend, and intimate. And
because it does require work, and you have to get closer, and you have to offer up things to them that
there has to be
that bonds
something
you.
Almost just like a romantic relationship, there has to be something there that is a spark between you, and then common interests, other things like that. But the difference is when you have those intimate friends, I think that those typically come from your childhood, right?
No.
What? Really?
Those are no, maybe.
Not child, but like
no, okay. I'm
middle
sorry.
school, high school.
No. I'm dismissing that, but I shouldn't, because there are plenty of people out there who probably do have close relationships with people there. For myself, I talked to 2 people from high school.
Okay.
2.5. The one doesn't even count anymore.
Okay.
Like my best friend who throughout high school and even after we graduated, Kent, that's done. That's pretty much finished. And for no reason other than just, he lives somewhere else. There's means to keep in contact. We say we're going to, I say half because I feel like 3 times a year we reach out to one another and have a conversation.
Do you think you could pick up where you left off?
Yeah, I think that if I put some work in, then it could come back.
Your relationship is in winter.
But even if you're counting that, that's 3 for me. And I wouldn't, they're not necessarily, well, I say that, and if someone's listening, well, of those other 2, it's not that they're not close. It's that I would put that in the second tier.
Okay.
But for me, I know what you're saying. It's just proximity, and you've been around.
What's funny about it. So for me, my 2 intimate friends, Anna and Michelle of hoffandpepperin.com, I've known that. Well, Anna, I've known since we're 5 years old, and she's also an only child. We've been through a lot together. Not like we've had like normal fights, or I don't want to say like we've been through a lot together, like it's been a battle and we've made it. It's not like that. We've just been through a lot of our lives, obviously, since 5 years old together. And Michelle and I were friends in high school. We did fight. We had like this lag of time. We had this like moment of time where we didn't speak for a while because we were fighting or something. But ever since then, it's been wonderful. And I know them from, I would say, my childhood. But why were we friends? Because we just were like in the same class together. Michelle and I were in the same class, and she thought I was weird. I thought she was funny, and I guess I was funny too, whatever. But there was something about us that worked. And then Anna and I, especially the younger you go, it literally is proximity. It's not some divine intervention that your best friend lived next door to you growing up. It's this weird thing that this super close relationship that I can have with this person. Like I treat her, we're together. We are family together. And really it all started because we lived in proximity to each other.
Yeah, that's what drives those younger relationships. And you have to give something to them at some point that keeps them going. And if you two are, or if you're connected with the person on that level and you're sharing things about your life and you're going through changes and experiences together, then surely it can work. I didn't keep in contact with a lot of people, so then to jump back in, I'm not the same person.
Right.
So it wasn't that we were so bonded when we were younger because we had so much in common or we shared so many secrets or, got each other through hard times. Maybe some of that comes up, but jumping back in, like, hey, this is the person I am. It'd be a brand new friendship, I think. It would be a reintroduction.
It is interesting when people do sort of grow up into adulthood. And I don't mean like early 20s adulthood. I mean now adult, like 35 plus.
Old,
when you're old. You do kind of, a lot of people do really change and not always for the better. They sort of like settle into some way that, I don't know, reminds me of our parents. And that's very upsetting to see for me, to see in other people that I knew as kids.
They're
and
shells.
Maybe they see that in me too. I don't know. I don't see it in me, but I don't know. I don't like that.
What is it? That the vibrancy disappears?
Yeah, the vibrancy, the stuff that they wear. They're like these moms who are constantly wearing active wear that really bother me. Always have their hair up, never try and do anything to themselves to look like. I'm not trying to say you have to be like a Southern woman and never, get your hair done and not that, but just don't just think of yourself as one thing. And as you get older, I think some people just think of themselves as one thing.
The interest seems to fade. The interest
Yeah.
of sharing part of your life with someone outside of your immediate family or extended family, if you want to take it even that far. But it does seem to disappear. And I wonder what causes that. Is it because you view yourself as one thing and you don't even know what to share anymore? And you're like, I'm boring. I don't want to put anything out there. I don't even know what the hell I have that's interesting.
Yeah, there is that period of time with kids that you literally are not able, unless you have money and can throw it at nannies or something, but you cannot get out there.
So it just shuts down.
Just for a while.
This is ridiculous, by the way.
Why?
Just this idea that I should have kids. It should be... This is not the topic. It just blows my mind that some people just do it and they don't think about it just because they're told it's what you're supposed to do. I feel like it should be a big decision. I'm like, all right, we're going to do this, and I'm supposed to. That's a different episode, different time.
Okay.
Oh, you can say something, and this isn't. I know you have kids, so this isn't an attack on you. This is just generalized. It really does blow my mind because it is a thing that requires a lot of your attention and energy. And if you don't even have the ability to know that you need to find a way to balance that, or you don't have the means to do that, you shouldn't be willing to just give up your whole identity and existence to have a kid because someone told you at some point that that's the way things are supposed to go.
I know, but in the moment, one, you are biologically driven to not separate from the kids. So especially when they're little, and these are the time, like these are the times when you're so immersed in being a new parent or just a parent to a newborn or just even a toddler. It is important for you to be there. And so it's difficult to physically leave them. And then, for me, it felt like when I left Ellie when she was little, it felt like this thing that I was constantly working on, like this project I was like always tinkering with and working on, and only I knew certain things about how to run this thing. And then I would leave and just like expect it all to be okay. And then there was a lot of outside pressure to be like, she's fine, don't worry about it. And it's like, but I am worried about it. Even though there was nothing really to worry about, it still is hard to leave them.
There's this idea that people who don't have kids abandon their friends when their friends have kids, which I call bullshit on. Maybe some people do, because it's harder to get them out. because they're
Yeah.
a parent now and they can't just pick up or drop everything and leave.
Yeah,
and
you're
go.
on the baby's schedule.
But there's the other side where there's a I don't know if it's a looking down on, but it's like, look, you're single. You don't know what this is like. And there's a balance somewhere in there. As a parent, you shouldn't that should not be part of it. You give up everything and you lose friends in the process. Look, my friend Kate has a baby who's probably about 2 at this point. And she's still very independent. She lives in Brooklyn with her husband and still has a life outside of it. But it is harder to get her to hang out. Even when she reaches out to me and says, let's hang out. She did that in December. And now it's been 2 months. It hasn't happened.
Yeah, it's hard.
But I don't take offense to that. There's communication going on, is what I'm saying.
Right.
There isn't a
So
complete...
I think when you're in those places and you don't, you do put yourself second, which you have to do.
But what I'm saying is, in this situation, there's a communication, and so there's not an abandonment. And I'm like, okay, yes, I can understand. You have a kid. I get that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to hold that against you. And thank you for not acting like I'm some loser for not having a kid.
Is that what you get? You get people treating you like you're a loser for not having a kid or
Not
for not
here.
understanding?
Yeah, not here. There's dismissive speak sometimes about things. Like, get out of here. There's a claim of selfishness. It's like,
That's crazy.
I was like, hold on a second. I cannot think of a more selfish act than to spread your genes. There's nothing more fucking selfish in the world to say, I'm so wonderful, I need to spread my DNA across this planet. Get the fuck out of here. That is selfish. I don't care.
That can be seen as selfish.
Well, this is my retort to the idea. Yeah, is there selfishness? Is there selfishness and not wanting to have a kid because you want to live? Sure, there's selfishness all around. But it's like this idea.
What you're saying is don't act like you're above someone else because you've had a kid.
That kills friendships. It does. Those kind of things do happen. Now, again, the rules are different living in New York, so it's all across the board. And if you do have a kid here, it's still seemingly different because I just think by living in this city, it's easy to hole up because I've done it, but there's so much stimuli that can pull you out.
So this friend of yours, what's her name? Kate?
Yes.
Was she an intimate friend or a good friend or a close friend before she had her kid?
I would say, so close is the
third option.
The third option. Close going to good.
Okay. So, but now, do you think it's gone closer to close?
Sure.
Okay. Because she had a baby. And so now her attention and her ability to maintain other relationships, like the energy she puts into that has gone down because she has to put so much energy into the baby.
I mean, I can't say she probably has closer friends than me. So whatever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So with you for her, even let's say she has the same criteria for you, that you're a close friend, leaking into good.
She pursued the friendship. We were on a shoot once and she was like part of the team, the client who hired us. And she just, for some reason, wanted to be friends with me.
Why would she want that?
What do I have to offer? I thought the same thing. It's like, why would you want to be friends with me?
That made her like you even more.
She pursued it.
Yeah. He doesn't want my friendship? No, I gotta get it.
It's there's this weird courting around it. It's like there was no mistake of it being romantic at any point. I didn't think that. She didn't give off those vibes. Yeah. But there is like a courtship. Like when you meet someone new and you have to become friends. And this is, I guess, getting back into the episode we've already done, which I don't want to too much, but it is this, okay, well, I got to kind of impress you. So you want to be my friend and we better have a good conversation the first time we're hanging out as friends. And
I wanted to try and get to be friends with this person. This was years and years and years ago. But I was like, so what are you doing after this? And they're like, nothing. It's the same thing when you're trying to ask someone on a date. Mm-hmm. If they want to hang out with you, they're like, I'm not doing anything. What are you up for something? But if they're not into you, they're like, well, I'm just,
There's still a fear of rejection.
Oh, yeah. I was totally rejected. She rejected me, this girl.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Did you
Why
hurt?
wouldn't she be friends with me?
Did you hurt?
I was just like, oh, I know what this is. She doesn't want to hang out with me. That sucks.
Yeah, that's a shame.
And then I knew, I was like, we were leaving at the same time, and she drove a different way than was toward her house. And I was like, oh, where's she going? Oh, man. I want to hang out.
So, as far as your extended friend group, how's it? How's it holding up these days? It's not like mine. I've got so many fucking friends.
You have a lot of friends. I think you have a lot of you have more than 50 close friends.
Well, I asked you to that wasn't a question for me to make that state. We can talk about that. But that wasn't one of those bullshit ways that I was like, I'm going to ask you a question, but I'm really asking you a question because I just want to say something about myself. That's the way it played out for a second, but let's not do that. It's not what I meant.
Well, I want to know later. But first, like I said, I have a very small group of intimate friends. And then, I don't know. I feel like I jump over good and go to close. Not because of what I said earlier where I feel like close is better than good. Let's keep it in that order where it's intimate, good, close, acquaintances. I feel like I've skipped over good and just landed on close for the majority of the other, like my friendships, because what I've been sort of figuring out about myself is that I don't ask for a lot from people. And I think that might be because I don't always want to put so much into other people as far as like maintaining a relationship. I want to have a friendship relationship with someone where we can go a really long time without communicating and both of us understand. Neither of us are mad at each other for not contacting each other. I mean, like if I missed a birthday or something, be like, hey, what the fuck? But that's fine. So, but I'm thinking of the people on the Von Hessler Doctrine. That is the show we work on. I feel like Eric and Tim are very, like, I feel like they are my friends. I feel like I could rely on them for certain things. Like, well, maybe not on Tim, but...
And you can't rely on Tim for much.
Well, I just mean, I don't think he would like drop everything and help me. I feel like Eric would do that.
If you could get a hold of Eric.
If you would answer them. See, that's what I mean. Okay, so
the thing with Eric is, for both of us, he was a very good friend. There was a close friendship for a while. Yeah. At a weird time in life when there was the age difference meant more.
Right.
When we're 22 and he's 40.
40s. Yeah.
And so why were we close then? It doesn't matter. I don't need to answer that, but I'm saying now, and this is just his own evolution, but it's harder to get a hold of him. And
I think it's because we don't live there.
Yeah, and that surely has a lot to do with things. That's proximity still is an important thing. There's a lot of people in Atlanta I'm still friends with. And I keep in enough contact with, but they can't be super close friends because we're just not there. And sometimes that bothers me because I see them going out and doing things and like a lot of my friends in college, I mean, in Atlanta, were friends from college, at least a core set of them. And a lot of them are still in Atlanta and hanging out. And I see this.
Right. And you feel like you should be a part of it, not just because you want to be there, but to help maintain the friendship.
Yeah, but the fact that those friendships are still being maintained and they're still good friendships, that makes me feel nice. But
yeah, I feel like I don't put enough work in to keep the circle of close to merging more into good.
Look, that was my wheelhouse. I'm a good friend. Because I was an awful boyfriend.
Okay.
Terrible. But friends.
What's wrong?
Friendships. Man, I was one of the best. You'd be lucky to have me as a friend. Why is
that? What do you do?
Because I can put in the effort. The demands of a friendship weren't constant. I didn't feel the pressure of it, so I was able to actually be more open, more myself, reach out, be vulnerable, have conversations with people that meant something, that weren't just generic conversations about, how's your day? Which, look, that's a fair question to ask. If you do care about someone, you do want to know about their day.
Uh-huh.
But, a lot of times I feel like it's also a throwaway conversation. I don't know what to say to you, so I'm just going to ask you this question.
Yeah.
But those two, that's a tough one because asking that question doesn't necessarily need to be bad, but for the sake of this argument,
Right. Okay.
What's
You
it
feel
about?
like it's not really finding out anything about the person anymore. It's just a filler.
yeah, and people felt comfortable with me. The thing that's come to light, through my work in therapy and being more open and vulnerable, I guess that existed before in friendships, and it was just harder to get there in closer romantic relationships. But so it was there, and yeah, I prided
You were trying
myself.
to marry the two.
I prided myself in my friendship ability.
Right.
What a friend.
But you want to marry the two. You want to have the friendship, the freedom that you feel in a friendship, but in a romantic relationship.
Yeah, it just goes to feeling. It all lives in being comfortable. The ability
Well, I hope
to be
you
yourself.
get that someday.
What's that?
I hope you get that someday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows what the future holds?
As a friend, though,
Yeah.
don't ask me to help you move. Please don't do that. I think that's a burden. That's bullshit. Moving sucks. Nobody wants to help anyone move. Hire a mover.
I know, but sometimes it's so expensive.
I
And you
understand that.
need help. And your parent, you can't, and we're getting to the age where you can't ask your parents to help you. This is in our moving episode, which will also be coming up soon.
Well, this ties directly into friendship.
Okay.
It's the one thing I put a limit on it. Don't ask me to help you move.
You know what I will do?
I'll give
I
you
will
pizza
help-
and beer. You know what? That's what my night was already. I don't need you for that.
You know what I will do is help you pack.
Yeah, sure.
I love packing. I'll pack it up. You can sit on the couch. I'll pack your shit. I'm not going to help you move it.
That's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
Lifting, carrying,
Ugh,
stairs,
the sweating, the stairs,
truck.
the pivoting of a couch, the horrible IKEA furniture that's just falling apart. You're like, it'll make it. I think that it's interesting to have friends as adults that you've known for so long. Because like I said, sometimes you start to see things in them that are characteristics of the adults that you used to look at and sort of be aliens to you. And now the two of you are both adults. And sometimes like I find myself, like, especially with my friend Anna, I feel like sometimes we're in these situations where we are the moms in this scenario, sitting at the kitchen, like ignoring our kids as long as we can until something happens. And then like drinking wine together and bitching or talking about Bravo or so, you know what I mean? And it's so weird to have that. And then to remember us being kids, at sleepovers and, us just laughing and laughing and laughing. And I can't even imagine what we were doing. I just remember laughing so much. And I mean, we still do laugh together, but it's just such a weird thing to be kids together and then to be, full ass adults together.
Yeah, that's surely a bonding experience, a long play.
Long play.
But to see those changes and growth in each other,
Yeah.
follow each other through the aging process.
Oh yeah. And now we're all, I mean, me and Michelle and Anna, we're all talking about like our faces, and what's going on with them and, the tug and the tug toward injectables into your face, like, should you do it?
No,
I know people don't want you to do it.
I just don't see the need to do it. This is a gross reaction to, again, what society says you should do and should look like. And I understand that maybe personally there's this idea, well, I don't want to look like I'm this old. But where does that feeling come from?
Well, and my concern is, where does it end? Because, I mean, at some point you're going to look like,
It ends in the Caribbean, you in a shallow grave, because you didn't have the money for the proper surgery. So you flew down to some island nation and you got this illegal procedure done.
Yeah.
And then you're dead and they don't know what to do and they throw you in a grave.
No, listen, no one's talking about surgery.
That's
Talking
where-
about a couple, get rid of the parenthesis things and listen, I know that that's a commercial and that's bullshit, but I'm saying like those lines beside your face, or like your eyelids are drooping. Get some, I don't know, Botox in them eyelids. I don't know.
You know, one of the things that I feel as though happens with long friendships,
What?
you stop connecting on a level that's the present. Because maybe, again, there's not so much to talk about depending on what you've done with your life. And it just becomes all this reminiscing. Remember this time we did that? Remember this time we went out and did this thing? Remember this? Remember that? Oh, my God. Oh, they're so long ago. Look, there's a certain
That's
level.
not an intimate friend anymore.
There's a certain level of that's fun
Yeah.
to reminisce because that was your bonding. But the bonding is done. When
Right.
that's all you have. It's like you talk about these old stories of you two and the things that brought you together. It's like, well, yeah, what's left?
You know what I think about are like war buddies doing something like that. And either that's a way for them to sort of express a lot of the things that they went through together that only the two of them know what it's like, or it's that they're older, they're not doing anything new.
But they don't have
Like
thoughts.
I said, they've like settled into this way of being they're not experiencing new things, they're not interested in new things, and then so they all they have is the past.
Yeah, that is depressing to me. That's no way to exist. Maybe you're not doing as much, but you don't have thoughts. You don't have new thoughts. You don't have things that you think about that are worth talking to other people
Maybe you
about.
do, but they're maybe divisive, you know, where I have like a political opinion and my old war buddy is,
Okay.
I know, feels opposite, so I can't bring those things up with them.
You don't have to talk about politics. There's some things you read about the way something works in Scientific American.
Well, that's the
I
thing,
just-
because people don't do that. People stop getting interested in learning new things or experiencing new things. People don't want to do that as you get older. And maybe we're still on the cusp of, you know, not that young, but not that old, that we don't want to be like that, but maybe we'll get to a point where it's like, nah, I'm good.
It's difficult for me.
I don't want to be there.
My range of friends and ages, I tend to not have friends that are too much younger than me now. There are some of them, which is okay. I shouldn't. I guess I don't know why I do that.
Are they young? They're like girls, though.
No, well, no. I was going to say, it's like I have nothing in common, but I was thinking of my friend Andrew and his girlfriend Molly, and she's pretty young, and I like her a lot. She's very,
Yeah, but she's an anomaly.
yeah. Anyway, but I have friends who are, you know,
I'm sorry, if she is listening, I want to say she's an anomaly because she's so like mature and interesting and doesn't act like a lot of people who are her age.
she's an anomaly.
She's an anomaly. Is her middle name Anna?
No. But no, I have friends who are older. I hang out with someone who's 66 years old. And
Gross.
I find it to be very enjoyable. He's big
And
into,
he has a lot of health issues, so it's harder for him to really experience new things and talk to you about stuff.
yeah, but I guess because, and maybe if you're friends with someone for a very long time, you feel as though you don't have anything to say to them anymore. And it's like, I've said everything. You know everything. I just be repeating myself. And maybe all the stuff that he finds interesting, it's new to me. Everything's new. I mean, I've known him for several years at this point. But, you know, maybe it's like, this stuff is new. But now he still seems engaged because he has have health issues. He still reads. I think reading and paying attention to events and current events and
Yeah.
I think it is important because
Yeah.
he quite often shares articles that he's read with me. Look, because that's a way to like, hey, I found something in here that sparked my interest,
Right.
and now I'm going to share it with you. It's like, oh, which, by the way, for the longest time when people wanted to share things with me, maybe this is the way I was a bad friend. I wouldn't want to read or watch or whatever it is they were sharing. I didn't, only because I was worried. It's like, what if I don't get anything out of it? And then it's going to make you feel bad. And then I don't want to feel the way it's going to make me feel if I let you down because you like this thing.
I think that that's really common. I think that so many things that you tell somebody, like, you have to watch this, they're never going to watch it.
Well, I wish they would, because that's the person trying to give something to you. Like, here.
Don't you think, I mean, like I said, I do that too. I feel like when someone tells me to watch something, I'm like, ugh, no, don't want to.
I watch everything you send.
That's different.
Well, I've been trying to be better about this. What's that?
That's different because I'm awesome.
I've been trying to be better about that though, because what I just said, it's like, shut up. Not everything's about you. Like that's that whole thing. But that the way I would do it is like, oh, but this person really likes that, and what if I don't like them? It's shut the fuck up and
Yeah.
just watch it. You can find something to say about it.
Well, and like you have to have trust in the other person to be able to. Okay, so someone's told you to watch something, you watched it, you don't get it, or you don't like it. You have to be able to trust your friend to be able to tell them, like, yeah, I don't really like that. For them not to just be like, what? We're not friends. Click.
Yeah. Or you can just have
Like
trust
you'd ever
in
be on the
yourself.
phone with someone. I'm just kidding. It would be a text.
You could just have trust in yourself to find something to say about it. I'm not that inept that I can't watch something and pick something out, even if it isn't something that
Right.
moved me in the same way.
I don't get it. No punctuation.
Yeah, you're right though. It wouldn't be a phone call, which is an interesting thing.
About
Probably-
maintaining friendships.
Yeah, the ability to text.
Yeah, that does help sort of keep the line open to your friendship.
But it also, along with social media, we can tie the two together at this point. It's not quite social media because it's a direct communication texting. But also, I think it can be taken as, oh, of course we're in communication, so I don't need to put any more work into this friendship right now because we've been texting. It's like,
Yeah.
well, yes, it helps and it hurts, depending. It's easier because you don't have to put in as much effort as making a phone call would take.
Right.
So you can just have a
But
conversation.
you're going to get more probably out of a phone call than you would a text.
Yes. So if you're texting and it keeps more communication going, great. But if you never put anything else into it more than texting, then it's probably shit.
I feel bad now
Why?
because I really don't think that I'm doing a good job maintaining my intimate friendships.
Why so? Why do you say
I don't think
this?
that I reach out enough. I'm not good at texting back sometimes. Or so I'm on this Marco Polo, thing, which is like a walkie-talkie, but with video, basically. And
It's a strange dynamic. It serves
Yeah.
a purpose. I think it gives you a false sense of security because you see each other. So it's like texting, except you just send a video message, but there's no real-time interaction. Then the other person watches it, then they respond. But
Yeah.
because the video is there, it makes you feel as though it's a little more connected than just text messaging.
yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, I need to make more of an effort to like get down south and see them because, Michelle's in Chattanooga and Anna's in Lawrenceville. And I should make more of an effort to like physically be there with them.
Yeah, but don't forget that they can also make an effort.
And they do.
It
Sort
goes
of.
both ways. I'm not saying that anyone's bad or it's like on them too.
I know
Sure.
everyone's so busy. I mean, you can always say you're too busy, but I feel like that about me. I feel like, yeah, I could always say I'm just too busy. And I'm not putting it on them. I'm thinking about for myself. I feel like I don't do enough.
All right, do more.
Yeah, I should. I'm going to.
Make the effort.
Yeah. Ugh, it's just, I don't know. You get so wrapped up in your own stuff.
Yeah, again, living here, months go by. For some reason, there's this idea that we can see each other whenever. We live in New York and there's a lot to do. Let's make sure we see each other soon. And then next thing you know, 3 months, 4 months has gone by.
Yeah, how does that happen? Time, what is time? Time just goes faster and faster and faster. You just like, because like when you're a kid, the summer felt like, so long. I feel like you were off of school for so long, and now it's like 6 weeks. It's nothing.
No, stuff surely does fly by. I mean, a school year, a week, not even a year, school year, a week. I remember on Mondays, like, oh my God, it's a Monday.
Yeah, yeah. And now here we are. I feel like it's already Friday, basically Friday.
And we're recording
Today.
this on a Thursday night.
Oh yeah, because we're recording Thursday night. But what I'm saying is, it's so okay. This is how many podcasts are we going to come up with in this one podcast? This is like a one of those clouds in space that makes stars. This is a podcast topic cloud. It's making a bunch of podcast topics.
I'll have to go back and I haven't been writing any of them down. And I'll forget. I've already forgotten. I have no clue. And I won't listen back. I know it's a strange thing because I edit the show, but I really don't edit it because it's live to tape. I just edit the beginning a bit.
Yeah.
Before the show officially starts. So I never listen. If I hear my voice, I skip over it.
What if you said something you need to delete?
Oh, I hate it so much.
Why?
I still don't like listening to myself. I think
Yeah.
about when my time in radio and I have to have air checks and you record your show and you bring it in, you sit there in the program director's office and you have to listen to it.
I feel like I really like listening to myself mostly as characters and less just myself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's easier to be a character than it is to be myself. But I don't mind. I've listened back to our shows
How true
every once
that
in a
is.
while. Yeah.
Sometimes you're a character that is just you. Like it seems like you. It sounds
Yeah.
like you. Kind of acts like you, but it's still a character.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. This whole podcast has really changed my mom's mind about who I am. She said she was here recently and she was telling me that I always just thought you were so confident and like cool-headed, never worrying about anything, never thinking, like always fine.
But then that's real. No one's like that.
I presented things like that. I was just like, I got it. And especially with her because she can be so high-strung. So I always felt like I had to sort of maintain this super calm sea
Yeah, you're
with
a
her.
character.
Yeah.
Only
all.
sociopaths can be super confident all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind being nervous or whatever, but if she were nervous, then I felt like I couldn't be nervous because I couldn't be nervous with her because I needed to be the strong one or something.
We are what we pretend to be.
Yeah.
That's
That's
why-
all different now. It's changing.
That's why I was a good friend too, because I was, again, I've already stated this, but I was able to be myself.
Yeah, you have always been a really good friend. I feel like, especially I think for girls, because it is true that a lot of your friendships are with women. And I think that it's really nice to have you as a friend because someone can talk to you about how they feel about something and it doesn't feel like I'm speaking a different language. You seem to really respond to how someone might be feeling, even if it's not something that makes a ton of sense. You still sort of accept the feeling and deal with that.
I was
Instead
always
of saying
good at
like,
that.
don't feel like that. That's crazy.
I was always good at that. I just hated my own feelings.
Right.
I was
Well, that was me too. I was like, I got everybody pegged. I know exactly what they should be doing. I know exactly what's wrong with them, but I'm never looking at myself and applying that logic to me.
No, yeah, with other friends, like, yeah, just, I don't give a shit. Feel whatever you're feeling. I'm not judging for that. The moment I felt something, it's like, that's fucking stupid and that's illogical. You stop that shit right now. Yeah. No. Get it out of here. So, even if you're presenting, that's even stranger to me. It's like I could present myself to people as I was, but then with myself, I couldn't be honest. Just if I were alone with myself, I couldn't.
No, I was the same way.
Putting on a show for myself.
Yeah.
Well,
I was not putting on a show for myself. I was just ignoring myself.
Yeah, I mean, there's many ways to label this, but
Yeah.
the result is the same.
But maybe that is why both of this is not the show where we're just really good friends. But I think that because I think that I am a good friend for similar reasons, because I like to listen to people and hear them. I'm not, there are some people you talk to and you can tell they're just trying to think of the next thing to say and they're not really listening or they're just not getting what you're talking about. And so you can't figure out how to tell them. You're just like, whatever. I think that I'm really good at listening to people. I think that I'm good at giving advice if they ask for it, but I don't always, I didn't feel like I could burden others with my thoughts if they were troubling me or would seem troubling to someone else.
Yeah. And, now that I think about it, when I'm saying I'm a good friend and I'm there for other people, I quite often would not put shit on other people. I just kept everything to myself.
Right.
So maybe it means I wasn't that great of a friend, ultimately. Doesn't mean I was a bad friend, but what was I giving?
Right.
How was I really getting close with people. You can hide behind the idea I'm listening to you and you're telling me things and you can trust me with those things, and that can carry things far enough. But unless you're giving also in that realm, which I guess for a long time I didn't so much.
Well, I think that the giving, it feels like you're giving when you are listening and helping and paying attention. That feels like a give.
Yeah.
But maybe it just felt really nice for the other person because they weren't having to sort of care. And I don't mean like they don't care, but like care for your anything that you might bring up.
It's interesting.
Yeah, because you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah, me too.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. What do you mean I'm fine?
I don't have any needs. I'm modest. I live this modest life. I would never burden you. I would never dump stuff on you.
Yeah. I felt like when my feelings interfered with the logic, or just like, there's nothing to be done, so don't worry about it. That was my thing. It was just like, it's not real, or it doesn't have to be real. We don't have, I can choose which feelings are real. It turns out you can't do that.
No, since
all your feelings are feelings for a reason.
Since I stopped doing that, I do feel like, I have closer relationships with people.
Yeah.
Relationships that I much prefer, that I get more out of. They're fulfilling. And I'm grateful for that. My friend Dave, who I do feel like I'm very close to, but he only gives so much. And I forced him one night to admit that he cared about me. And he finally did.
Yeah?
After he relented. I was like, see, doesn't that make you feel better?
What did he think?
I don't know. And then he kind of closed off again.
Okay.
He's the one who keeps a lot of the contact going. But he'll send me pictures of weird, strange. He moved back to Richmond, which is his one thing in New York too. It's stabilized a bit, but especially when I first moved here, a lot of people come to the city and they leave this city, and you go through various rounds of friends.
Yeah. Do you have like eras?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Certain-
Epochs.
certainly. It's an interesting thing. I moved here when I was 25, almost 26, and that first group of friends, even someone who was born and raised here, who I thought, Jeff will never, he'll never leave. He went to LA as of a few years ago.
Oh, that makes sense though, right? Because if you're born and raised in New York, you're not moving anywhere except LA.
But I just didn't think he'd leave. His mom's here, and like I met her, and Thanksgiving I went over there once. He'll never, and he left. And that was the end of that first round of friends. And then, outside of him, other groups of friends came and went. And as you get older, I think more people, it stabilizes a bit. They've been here and they've decided to stay here. And it doesn't mean they won't leave at some point, but it's
Right.
it's not as fast, the turnover.
The frequency is dying down
Yeah, so
as people sort of settle in.
So there was a real opportunity to keep meeting new people and present different versions of myself. Not fabricated versions, but just as I grew and changed, people met different. It would be interesting
Oh yeah.
to have people talk about who they think and view you as, like a new friend that you became close with, has a conversation with someone who's known you for 20 years. And see what the differences are. I guess if you've stayed close to the person of 20 years, it wouldn't surprise them too much. But let's say that you had a friend when you were younger who knows you as one way, even in your early 20s, and then you have a friend now, for them to have a discussion.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like, who is this person that you're friends
Oh, that
with?
sounds like a British reality show.
I'm just curious. Because totally different person.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. In that time when we were running around drinking underage, being nuts, I feel like those are different people for us now, don't you think?
Yeah. Now,
Less wild.
Yeah, I mean, but that was fun. And we're the same age, and we were on our own. Like, it was the first time, like, you're done. You're out of your parents' house. Or I guess maybe if you were still at home, but you had the ability to get to the city. Yeah, that in itself is like, look at this. We're working for a radio station, and we're going to these events and getting wasted. that was an ability to, or an opportunity to grow closer in its own right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So what's maintained our friendship over so long? Because there was a time when it sort of died down.
because
It was the winter of our friendship at one point.
I think there's just a basic foundation of care and understanding of one another, and that was nice
Yeah.
and is nice.
Yeah. Even though I feel like you're sensitive, really being attuned to reacting to people's emotions. I feel like that is, as far as our years of friendship is, I feel like it's in the later half of it. But for the majority of it, it has been a care. You know, you have always been interested in me talking. Like you've been interested in, what I'm saying. I've never felt like you were bored or annoyed or anything. And
I do
I
get
think-
pissed. I feel
What's
like
that?
I feel like people dismiss you,
yeah.
and that pisses me off. You had another thought. Sorry if I threw you off track.
No, it's just interesting. But and I think earlier on, I liked how silly and I think we bonded over being silly.
Yeah, I would just make noises, and you liked that. So
I
therefore,
love that.
Therefore, I felt comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I can just be my weird self around her.
Right.
No big deal. This is.
But yeah,
great.
I think
I mean, if we just continued getting wasted and running around, that was never going to carry us through. At that point,
it's interesting that we really did start. I mean, okay, the very beginning wasn't just drinking and being crazy, but for a big period of that time and of that era was a lot of like partying, like getting drunk, being crazy, whatever.
But that's what you
and
do
it is
at that
interesting
age.
that we've carried through to something else.
that's what you do at that age. So therefore, that I would say is a very viable means of connection.
Right. But
then-
a lot of those relationships don't, you the thing that bonded you younger, you can't recreate as an older version of yourself.
No, because there's no substance really to that.
Right. So how did we find the substance?
The substance in running around and getting drunk is very limited, and it
Right.
serves a purpose for a small window of years. And
But you know what? We had intimate, like friendship times, not just being crazy, getting drunk, like with staying up at night and singing weird songs. You know what I mean? There are things like that that are like more friendshipy things
yeah,
and not just like crazy party partner.
no, there was enough there.
Yeah. Interesting.
And the only reason I think we drifted apart was just I moved, and I, for some reason, didn't keep in contact with you, and you didn't keep in contact with me. But it wasn't because there wasn't enough there to keep it going.
Yeah. Just stopped.
The fact that it came back around proves that, when it did come back around, it didn't feel different or it felt strange. It didn't feel strange, or I don't know how to do this, or this isn't matching.
Yeah.
kinda
Or like
just-
we're trying to maintain this friendship that's really doesn't mean anything anymore.
It was just kind
We'll
of,
just pick this back up.
yeah, that's exactly what it was. So,
Yeah.
Even that period where we weren't so close or talking at all,
Yeah.
because there probably was a stretch of a couple years there wasn't
I
any
think so, too.
contact.
See, I haven't done that with my intimate friends. Like I don't go years without speaking to them and then expect everything to be okay. But I feel like I don't do the reaching out as often. Maybe I do and I'm just paranoid. I don't know. But it feels like, I don't know. I don't like being all caught up in my own life. I want to be caught up in my life, but also take the time. Just like people say, like, you need to take time for self-care. Like, okay, I like that too. But I also want to take time to maintain friendships a little better.
Well, you need to. They still are relationships that require some work. Not as much,
Yeah.
but they require work. They need to be tended to,
Mm-hmm. Like a garden.
pruned,
Pruned.
sculpted.
Soiled.
It is important.
Put some fertilizer on that garden.
Even if you don't see the person or talk to them so often, if the time that you do spend together is meaningful, then that can
Yeah.
help carry it.
True.
I think about the friends I have here, And it is surprising to me how many there are.
Yeah, you do seem to always be running into someone in a city of billion people.
Well, 8 million.
Sorry, that's close.
It balloons during the day because people come in from the metro area. But yeah, when you run into people in a city this big, it is cool. It's like, oh, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, it is neat.
But, it's also, I've been here 12 years, so despite the turnover, it's a long time. That's a long time to cultivate friendships and meet a lot of people, and not everyone leaves. So
Right.
Some people stick around, and you meet new people, and I like what I've got here. And I think I do a good job of maintaining those friendships.
Good.
And hanging out with people like Paul Cavalcante, who's born and raised in New York and has been on New York City radio for, his whole career on every station and every signal. The cockroach of New York City radio. This real weirdo who's got moths and butterflies that he pins himself and knows the sign.
I feel like this is not the part of your description of him that you should talk about it first.
This is what I love about him.
I love it too, but it's so...
He knows the
makes
scientific.
you think of Buffalo Bill, and it's just tough.
He knows the scientific names of trees and
So
plants.
you talk about that first before you talk about the pinning of the moths.
The pinning of the moths. It's not even think it's a weird thing. People are into that.
I know it's not a weird thing, but it feels like Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, well,
Silence of the Lambs ruined it for him.
well, I apologize if that's not. I'm presenting that as
No,
a
he's not a
positive.
creep.
No, I really enjoy walking through a park with him and him telling me which trees are indigenous and which ones were planted by settlers.
Oh
How
my
the
God, I would
fuck
love
do you know
that.
this?
Yeah, that's amazing. But you know what? I feel like he could do that with me, and I would have no clue. He could just be saying anything, and I'd be like, "Whoa!"
It is true. Maybe it's all an act. It's not. But
I don't
maybe
think
it's
it
just
is.
maybe. But these are the kind of people I gravitate towards, and I think just by default, there's enough there for these friendships to remain close.
Well, I am working on maintaining my long-term intimate friendships. I am also trying to make new friends, and I'm hanging out with a new friend this weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
You nervous?
No.
No. What are you going to talk
No,
about?
I'm excited.
What are you going to do?
Her life. We're gonna go to coffee. We're gonna talk about her life,
Yeah, it's like
and she'll ask me questions about my life.
it's like a first date.
It kind of is.
You just have to present yourself as you are.
I will.
Don't be a character, Autumn.
No, I won't. I mean, enough that is normal, not the way that I feel like maybe it can devolve into.
Yeah, sure. Not right away. Like like anything else, on a first date, you don't dump everything on a person.
Yeah.
You just you give enough. Like what I'm
Right.
telling you is truthful and honest, but I'm not going to throw it all on you.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
I
whoa,
don't want
whoa.
to. It sounds like I was being so fake or something. I was never fake.
No, I know. I don't think I know.
Yeah. It was just too much of a presentation that if you do that enough, you start to really lose a lot of your sense of what you actually need out of your life and out of relationships.
And maybe at some point you just lose sight of who you are, so you don't know what to present. Which
Exactly.
figure it out.
Yeah. Is that is that some weird crisis? What is that called?
I don't know if that's a crisis. That's an ongoing thing. It's like I have no clue.
Yeah.
I have no identity anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just existing. I've done everything that society has told me I'm supposed to do, and I'm empty as fuck. That's what you get in the.
Man, this episode is full of other topics.
Well, it's just that was
So
me.
good.
That was me about to go off on consumerism.
I don't do that. All right, I'm going to write that down. Consumerism.
Okay, end it then. End it. I'm gonna start ranting.
All right. Thank you for listening to One Topic. Please like and subscribe, rate and review, all of that stuff that people say at the ends of podcasts. And thanks. That was the best one so far. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Autumn.
Do you like hot sauce?
You know, I do like hot sauce, but but I'm getting pretty bored of my regular Texas Pete or Tabasco. I'm looking for a local sauce without any additives or extracts. A company that uses local peppers so it's as fresh as possible, and a company that really cares about the integrity of the sauce and where their ingredients come from.
Definitely.
And hey, while we're at it, I don't want a sauce with too many ingredients. You know, a lot of other sauces out there, they have all kinds of fillers. So I'd love to find a sauce with, I don't know, let's say no more than 5 ingredients. I mean, it's crazy, but there's gotta be a company out there that hand processes their sauce. You know, bottling and labeling every bottle themselves. I'm probably asking a lot.
Well, you really are, but there is a hot sauce out there who only uses 5 ingredients,
What?
0 fillers,
Huh?
additives, or extracts, and who bottles, labels, and packages everything themselves. It's called Hoff Sauce.
What?
They're a small batch hot sauce company out of Chattanooga, Tennessee that's won Best Louisiana-style sauce in the country. How many times? Not once, not twice, 3 times.
3 times!
How does that sound, Greg?
I think that sounds amazing.
You know how you can get your own bottle of hot sauce?
No, tell me please now.
Hoffandpepper.com. And not only am I giving you the gift of the best hot sauce that you'll ever taste, I'm going to give you 15% off if you use the code ONETOPIC15.
Hold on, that's
Yes, get a pen and paper.
1 topic 15.
Good. That's ONETOPIC 15, all squished together at checkout. You'll get 15% off your order and your life will be better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.